I just got 5 questions for you.
What's my eye line? Am I looking at you?
What's up?
Am I looking at you?
Honestly, you can look at me, camera.
I'll look at you.
Either's cool. How did you find out about the Smash World Tour being canceled?
Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just scrolled
basically,
down,
yeah. There's like a lot of elements of when things like this happen. When you have like a lot of friends, like, you know, I live with someone like Aiden. It's like you hear rumblings, you hear things, you don't know what's true or not. But when it came to that, yeah, I had no idea that was happening. So Twitter.
Dude, I found the same. I left the gym, and you remember Cisco Tank?
Yeah.
He texted me. He's just like, "Did you see what happened?" I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was just like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's the start of it." Overall, how do you feel about all this happening?
I don't know. It kind of sucks because it seems like once again someone has tried to make this Nintendo thing work, and Panda, or not really the whole org, but like particularly Alan. Like the way I heard one of the TOs put it was like he was given the keys to the car, and then he was like, "All right, but I also want everyone off the freeway. I also want I want all of LA to myself." And yeah, it's kind of disappointing to see people like him who are super disconnected clearly from what makes Melee special try to come in and almost like what seems like monopolize tournament series in a way that kind of discounts. I feel like he doesn't understand that it's people like Sheridan and Bobak, the people who like run tournaments, that make those things special. And I think he thinks that there's something. He thinks that people only want to come and play the video game, and they don't care about that whole aspect of it. And that's he's clearly disconnected from what people want out of tournaments and what people want out of the people running their tournaments. And yeah, to me, it kind of seems like he just wants to own everything, and that they were trying to take control of everything, utilizing this or leveraging this Nintendo sponsorship or partnership. But I think no one really fucking cares about Nintendo partnering, or at least we've all given up on that a long time ago. So to answer your question, it feels like shit.
Yeah.
It feels bad.
That was awful, dude. I couldn't believe it. My heart sank like 3 times while reading the article. I was like, dude, really?
Yeah. It's just someone who has been put into a position of power who doesn't understand what anyone wants, and then in turn just goes after what he wants, which is only in his own best interest.
Sucks, dude. It's fucking annoying. So,
It's all right.
Dude, we've gone through this before. We can get through it.
I don't know. People, you just keep going to tournaments, it'll be fine.
Right? So where and how will the community continue to grow?
The same way it always has. I think that like, Smash is like one of like the few games that I would consider that is near tier 1 when you consider viewership. Probably not the amount of competitors, but when you consider viewership, like close to a tier 1 esport, and probably one of the only ones that has 0 developer support that is putting up stream numbers like they are. And I think that's a facet of the storylines and how strong the grassroots community is for the game. And I think that it'll continue that way. I think like events like Genesis like aren't gonna go anywhere. I feel like all that really entities like Nintendo can really do is like shut down their broadcasts, but no one can really stop you from playing the game or competing in the game or showing up to events. I think it's probably the most important thing to do is to like continue showing up to events regardless of what happens to the broadcast. So I think that where everything will go from here is just, it's kind of this cycle. It's like Nintendo gets bored, they fuck with us, everyone goes, hey, stop that. And they go, oh, okay, my bad. And they go back into the shadows for a while. And like, 2 years later, they come back out and they fuck us again. And then everyone's like, hey, stop that. And then it just keeps going and going and going. And they like want to do things in the shadows. Like they want to be able to shut down tournament series without anyone finding out why. But then it naturally everyone finds out why, because TOs are people and they talk. And and then Nintendo doesn't want the bad PR, so they just back out, and then it just resets again. So we get super hard fucked, and then we rebuild, and then we have a few months of smooth sailing, and then it just happens again, and that'll just probably continue forever. That'll probably just happen forever.
So I got two more for you. So with all this information, how did you prepare for this tournament? I know you weren't like a competitor and you're kind of just like a spectator, but understanding that with everything that had just happened, going into a major, what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I kind of just came to spectate and see some friends. But I don't necessarily know. I feel like at some subconscious level, I just wanted to be here. I think I used to work at Beyond the Summit, and they've been hit pretty hard by all this, and they were affected by all this. So I kind of just wanted to be here and see my old coworkers and see my friends. And I haven't even played Melee. I'm just kind of here and enjoying being in this environment because I don't really get to go to a lot of tournaments anymore. But this one, because I used to work on this series, and because I know so many people who are continuing to work on this series, and because Summit in particular was affected by everything that happened, I don't know. I kind of just wanted to come, spend some time here. So didn't really do anything to mental prep, but I'm glad I came.
Show some support for the community. Any final words you'd like to tell the Smash community as a whole?
No, just keep going to tournaments. Support local scenes. I think one of the saddest things, irrelevant to all this for me, is that locals are kind of dying, and that sucks. I think that every single friend I have right now, every dollar I've made, job I've had after college, person I've lived with in college and now, basically all of it was afforded to me through Smash, and I feel like the game provides, not even on a career level, but just on it's so hard once you turn into your early 20s and you leave school. It's really, really hard to make friends and figure that out, especially for people who maybe don't live in metropolitan cities or are more less densely compacted. It's scenes like Melee make it really easy to make friends, develop long living relationships, and meet people who are really similar to you. And I think that that's something that deserves to sort of remain, whether or not sort of ignoring the whole broadcast aspect of it all. That's something that needs to sort of stay. I think it's really important, and so I think the best thing you can do is go to locals, go to majors, watch tournaments, continue spending dollars towards events, and keep yelling at blue chip companies online who are annoying and do shit. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. That's it. I super appreciate it, homie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.